almost 10 million pensioners will lose the winter fuel allowance because of the terrible mess left by the Tories, Rachel Reeves has announced. The Chancellor said Rishi Sunak and his mates should hang their heads in shame as she warned there is a £22 billion black hole in the nation's finances this year. Ms Reeves announced she would be forced to make £5 billion in immediate savings, including giving the fuel payments only to those entitled to benefits. A cap on social care costs due to come in next year has been ditched, as plans for new hospitals, roads and railway lines have been scrapped. But she revealed junior doctors will get a pay rise of more than 20% over 2 years to end their strikes, as millions of teachers, NHS staff and police officers also get salary hikes. In the Commons, Ms Reeves demanded the Conservatives apologise for the unforgivable situation they had left behind. She told MPs that the last government had given a false hope to Britain by promising roads that would never be built, public transport that would never arrive, hospitals that would never treat a single patient. The budget will take place on October 30 when the Chancellor admitted she will have to make difficult decisions on spending, welfare and tax. A Treasury audit published today found a £21.9 billion black hole in the public finances this year, including a £6.4 billion overspend on the asylum system, including the now scrapped Rwanda plan. Ms Reeves accused the Conservatives of covering up shortfalls. The Office for Budget Responsibility confirmed it had been kept in the dark by the last government about some of the problems. Richard Hughes, the boss of the watchdog, raised concerns about transparency as he said, "We were made aware of the extent of these pressures at a meeting with the Treasury last week." 0.10 million lose winter fuel payment. The winter fuel allowance, which was introduced by Labour in 1997, will no longer go to every pensioner. Only those eligible for pension credit or some other means-tested benefits will be entitled to the payment, which is worth £300 for those over 80 and £200 for those under. It means the numbers of recipients will fall from 11.4 million people to 1.5 million. Let me be clear, this is not a decision I wanted to make, nor is it the one that I expected to make, but these are the necessary and urgent decisions that I must make, Ms Reeves told MPs. Pay rises for doctors, teachers and police. Junior doctors have struck a deal with ministers that will see their pay go up by more than 20% over 2 years in return for ending their strikes. The Chancellor is also accepting in full the recommendations of public sector pay bodies on rises for over 2 million workers at a cost of £9 billion. Teachers and most NHS staff will get a 5.5% increase, as police officers get 4.75% more and prison officers 5%. Most civil servants will get a 4.5% hike and the majority of those in the armed forces will receive an extra 6%. Cap on social care costs scrapped. The long-delayed cap on social care costs, which was finally due to be introduced next October, has been scrapped. The cap would have meant that people would not have to spend more than £86,000 on personal care during their lifetime. The amount of savings and assets people are allowed to keep would also have increased from the current £23,250 to £100,000. The Conservative government had already delayed the cap by 2 years. Roads, rail and hospital projects axed. Plans to build a tunnel under Stonehenge on the A303 and for the A27 Arundel bypass in West Sussex have been axed, as well as a programme to reopen some railway stations and lines that were closed under the beaching cuts. The government will also conduct a complete review on the programme to build 40 new hospitals by 2030 amid warnings that Tories failed to set money aside to pay for them. Private schools will lose tax breaks in January. Private schools will have to charge VAT on fees from next January. The elite institutions will also lose an 80% discount they get on business rates. The money will be used to pay for an extra 6,500 teachers in state schools, improve training for head teachers and create 3,300 nurseries in primary schools to boost the availability of childcare. Plan to scrap A-levels abandoned. Rishi Sunak's plan to scrap A-levels has been ditched. Ms. Reeves said the ex-PM had not put a single penny towards the policy that would have cost £185 million next year. Mr. Sunak announced last October that he wanted to replace A-levels and T-levels with a new advanced British standard. Sixth formers would have had to study 5 subjects under the plan. Payoffs for disgraced ex-ministers ditched. Government ministers who leave their jobs in disgrace will no longer be entitled to severance pay. Ministers who only served a short period of time will also get less money. HMRC will get extra staff to crack down on tax dodgers, while the government will cut spending on marketing campaigns and fees for consultants.